Kilifi County is one of the 6 counties in the coast region whose landscape is breathtaking with beautiful beaches, with the potential of earning a spot as a must-visit tourist destination. Its climate is conducive for production of cashew nuts, coconuts and other fruits. But despite the rosy picture of its capabilities, the reality is that it has its fair share of thorns. A survey by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics and Society of International Development in 2013 ranked Kilifi as one of the counties leading in poverty index, with residents struggling with problems of low income, expenditure and inequality. A reality that the newly elected MP Kilifi North Owen Baya feels can only be corrected through a drastic action.
If you go to the schools in coast, especially secondary school, 70% are Harambee schools. What you call the ones that are started by Jomo Kenyatta used to have this, do a Harambee and build a school. So the development of schools, the coast person has built his own schools through hard work, through Harambee and all that, while government invests in building schools in other areas. Many years, if you go there, you realize that government appointments, the cost will never be considered. If it's considered, it will be the last resort, just to be seen to have given them something, but they're not mainstream. So putting all these factors together and looking at the history that we've come from, we are a unified country because coast joined Kenya to become the Republic of Kenya. Why should coast remain within Kenya?
Baya argues that successive governments have sidelined the coast region, leading to a situation where the natives are disenfranchised, adding that devolution, which was hoped to be the silver bullet, had failed to change the sorry state of affairs in the region.
The leadership of this country has continued to divide and exclude other parts of this country in the mainstream country. Why should we force ourselves on a sweeter who doesn't want us? But when you get married in church, they tell you, till death do us part. But we have seen people go to court and they get divorced. So I think we also go to the places where we can get the divorce and get it, so that we remain on our own, without any acrimony, without any war, we will follow the procedures that are laid down in law.
The first-time MP, who holds a bachelor's degree in education and a master's degree in educational economics and planning from Kenyatta University, also studied in the United States of America and in Germany, where he trained in higher education management. He was a lecturer at Pwani University and also served as Kilifi County Secretary between 2013 and 2017 before opting to join elective politics.
Our students don't complete school, both at primary school and secondary school and even at the university, because of the myriad of problems that they face. So one thing that I want to tackle is completion rate. The other problem that is there is a distance from home to school. Schools are very far apart, and therefore kids walk long distances, more than a kilometer, to seek class 1, to seek class 2, to seek high school. So what I'm trying to do in my program is to try to reduce distance by building and putting up new schools to ensure that schools first will reduce the class size and also have enough primary schools and secondary schools where young people can pursue education.
As an educationist, he says his plan is to ensure access to education for all children in his constituency, a plan that he has begun implementing through the creation of Owen Baya Foundation, a foundation that he uses to mobilize resources locally and internationally to sponsor students who attain a mini grade of C+ and above to join university. At the same time, he is working on amendments to the Tourism Act with the aim of categorizing Kilifi County as a special economic zone.
Special tourism economic zone. The benefit is that there'll be deliberate attempt to make investment in the special economic zone. For example, infrastructure. There are certain roads that need to be done, especially in the tourist area, so that tourists can reach that place easier. But because there's no legislation, there's no deliberate attempt. We have cried for many years, we need Malindi to become an international airport with a big runway that can land planes and also to bring planes direct from Europe. But because there hasn't been a framework of how this must be done, it is done as part of any other infrastructure. That's why a big airport of 2.5 billion can be built in Isiolo, but they cannot build the airport in Malindi, which is a tourism area.
It is a vision that his constituents who we spoke to are convinced he can achieve, with the majority expressing their dissatisfaction with successive governments on issues of economic empowerment and land adjudication.
Kila mbunge aliyekuja alikuwa hajatugusa kiasi kile ambacho tulikuwa tunataka, lakini saa hii imani yetu inatuambia bwana Owen Baya, ama ninamwambia bwana Owen Baya afanye bidii juu na chini ili kilio hiki cha mashamba watamu hii mpaka kibaba mche ama jimba yawe yatapata suluhu.
I serve a constituency where over 75% of the people are squatters. Now, this really pains me because we have been in this country since independence many years, over 50 plus years. But still, the person living in Kilifi North lives as a squatter in a land which belongs to them. There hasn't been any deliberate program to ensure that the people of Kilifi North have land. And the leadership that has been there took advantage of the poor situation and enriched themselves because of poverty of the problem of land. And I have challenged government here. I had a meeting with officers and I said, look, you pay IDPs a lot of money, internally displaced persons, so that they can go and acquire a piece of land to live on. The squatter is also an internally displaced person, but no one has ever looked at compensating the squatter to acquire his own land so that he can stay there. So this kind of unfair treatment of people is what really pulls me to still really want to be vocal and talk about issues that affect us as a coast people.
And as he settles into office to begin his first term, the weight on his shoulders to deliver, to say the least, is immense if he is to turn around the region's perspective. Will he be the one to steer Kilifi North to a new chapter and write a different story from that of hopelessness and despair to that of hope and prosperity? Only time will tell. Kevin Wachira for the Lawmaker, KBC Channel 1.